Hello, Scorpio. I hope you're doing well. The video quality seems a little grainy, maybe. It's a little odd compared to norm. Dog is chowing down. Kid is getting situated. I think things are winding down. For the night, I hope. Clearly, as I yawn. I've been trying to play catch up today. Friday was a little MIA, and you know, you guys are always in the back of my mind trying to get things done, even if it doesn't feel like that. But, you know, needed some extra rest. I spent most of yesterday sleeping, but it was apparently needed, right? So, I've got a little bit of time. I'm going to get Scorpio's January readout. It's lovely to have you here. Thank you for being here. Thank you for all the ways you support the channel. Could not do it without you all. This will be for your sun, your moon, your rising, Venus, North Node, and stellium. Scorpio, wolves. I don't even know what the hell. Looked out the window. Let's get this. And I don't know why I thought there's not those here, and I don't know, but wolves. It's kind of like you think about, was it Yellowstone? Yeah. And they sent Casey out to go through his awakening, or whatever you want to call it, or his induction to her life, if you're familiar with that show. And he was like hallucinating and all that stuff. I think he's seen wolves howling at that time. And let me look here and see. I don't know if the animal spirit deck, who did I use that for earlier? Channel members, I think. Wolves. I don't know if we have wolves in this animal spirit deck or not. Oh, here, as I talk, I'll just thumb through the deck. It'd probably be easier, honestly. So with that being said, Scorpio, if you're interested in personal read, those are open. I have a few emails I need to respond to. I'll do those first thing tomorrow. So if you're waiting on a response from me, you will be getting that. The rest of the 26 stuff will be out. Come hell or high water. What else? And I think that's about it, Scorpio. Do want to bring to your attention something that I've talked about before, about Jupiter moving into Aries. That is going to be, I'm going to say the last of, but the last of what is super important in a back-to-back. I said to you, specifically you guys, about things happening in threes. Goofball me, being me as I am, didn't realize that back to back to back, we've got the sun, let me rephrase. Neptune will move into Aries on the 26th of this month. On February 14th, happy Valentine's Day, Saturn moves into Aries. Then the third thing, which I've talked about, February 20th, which has come up in personals and on YouTube. Jupiter moves into Aries. Spirit, I got the chills. Spirit's calling it the Great Reset. And guess what? Lo and behold, there is a wolf in this deck. I don't know that wolf card's ever come out, that I've ever seen it before, to be honest with you. I've had this deck for 4 or 5 years, maybe. I don't think I've ever seen that seen that card. But let's read what the wolf represents here. See the fire behind the wolf? I don't know, you think about wolves. They tend to have really pretty blue eyes, right? Like, I don't know, huskies remind me of wolves. Doggies, canines, il cane, right? The Italian way of saying it. Kanye. Let's see. Oof. Let's see, where's it at here? Who knew that the earthworm and the wolf would fall into the same category? Odd, but not. If you're not a channel member, channel memberships are also open. Link for that is in the description box below, and personal reads, the email is there. Scorpios, if you've been with me personally in the past, I do know that everything's changed for 26, and I've added services as well, so do reach out if you're interested, and I'll provide you with all the new information via the email. Says wolf, guardian of family and tribe, activism, ritual. The wolf's mission is to uphold the well-being and longevity of the pack. Healthy wolf energy expresses itself through activism, mentorship, humanitarian efforts, or teaching religious or political studies. The wolf gets into trouble when it assumes every member of the tribe must follow suit. This includes children walking in their parents' footsteps, although it will surely be uncomfortable at first. Practicing tolerance helps balance out agitated wolf energy. Contemplate the following: embrace all and exclude none. When in balance, we are reliable, democratic, fearless. When we are out of balance, we are judgmental and dominating. And what we need to bring into balance is to learn to let go. The art of surrender, guys. You know, right before I started this video, which I think that this very interesting, some of these words, they talk about political activism, humanitarianism. When I did the 111 reading today, I was actually waiting for some other things to settle down, and I turned it on while I was piddling just to kind of play back, because there were certain things that caught my attention while I was doing that read, and I wanted to go back and kind of piece some things together, I think is maybe what I want to call that, and talked about that. I try not to get political with you guys. It's hard to not be involved in some way in the world in which we live. And I said, I got to the part of the video, if you haven't watched it yet, do go check it out, where I said, this makes me really uncomfortable. And maybe we have to have real uncomfortable conversations. And the fact that I was being guided via spirit to say something publicly, which I would do. I mean, Scorpio, right? We just say things and we're like, okay, we'll see what happens. And it's not that I say this too, another uncomfortable moment here. I don't seek to make anybody else uncomfortable. We will always say or do something that not everybody's going to be happy with. That's part of the people-pleasing thing, right? Maybe. But to that, it is, I said my thoughts on where I would be instead of in the middle of the road in my vehicle. Some people may agree, some people may disagree, but I said we need to be respectful of all viewpoints, all perspectives, without inciting more of a frenzy. And I talked recently too about oh God, it was there and then it just left. Spirit, sometimes you just need to walk away. There's a reason they brought it in and took it out. Note made. We won't try to retrieve that. Scorpio, there's a message in that for you as we open this up 8 minutes in, but would it be a Scorpio message without all the extra for you guys, right? Probably not. I wouldn't, if we did a reading like that, without the intention being set to minimize it to peanuts, and it happened that way, I would think something was horribly wrong. I'm not gonna lie to you. I would think that I messed up somewhere along the way somehow. All right, Scorpio, let's see. This is a spiritual experience to behold. Okay. That it is, Spirit, that it is. All right, we're going to switch decks here. All right, Scorpio. Spirit for January for the Scorpio collective that we're reading for. Aura ups. You know, and I was going to say to you this. You guys see me. I mean, I don't sit up here with the cards by my face and go like this, right? And you don't have a clear shot to my table, which is only a few inches. Like, there's like next to nothing there, distance-wise. I just talked about our perception and observation, Scorpio. The wolf is the leader, right? He is, she is the member of their tribe. Spirit saying we also take responsibility for our tribe. You think about if you've got a group that works underneath you at work and you lead them, right? And they fuck up. guess who else your boss is looking to? You. As they say, shit rolls downhill. If things falter and you're heading that league 10-10 on the clock, who's to look at? You. If you succeed and there's confetti and rainbows and applause, who's everybody looking at? You. Scorpio Spirit says, here's to looking at you in 2026. Your perception on some things may, I don't want to say needs adjustment. I think the adjustments are coming from a spiritual perspective that may, dare I say, may be mixed in things such as humanitarianism, Aquarius energy, activism, same deal, politics, religion. There's Sammy Kershaw song, Politics, Religion, and Her. For some of you masculines out there, there's a her in your life, and this could be for the cross watcher too. There is a her in your life who is changing your entire viewpoint, and you can see why she, or that feminine, has led the pack before. It is about the support systems, Scorpio, that we are only ever as good as the support systems that we build. And I'll say the more numbers that you have behind you sometimes, it's not necessarily support, it's right, quality over quantity, right? Maybe it's not about, let's say for YouTube, producing 10 videos in a week to see who gets the most views. It's about the substance of what's in them, right? What are you learning? What are you teaching? What are you showing? As I'm sitting here watching the screen, and I said it's almost kind of like it's a little splotchy or whatever the word was I used. Do you remember in some of the old films, like way back when, where the screen would, like, you'd see other little, like, I don't call them sparkles, but little, they're like kind of like bright marks in the screen throughout it, kind of crackly. I'm curious to see what this video looks like after I put it out, if it's doing the same thing, but it's kind of like TV fuzz. Old school TV fuzz. It just kind of lights it up. It's like, whoa, there's that, and this is pixelated, and that's that. But it holds true to its nature, Spirit is saying. Scorpio, whatever you're getting involved in the month of January, you're jumping on board with it. It's nothing new. There could be some things that you're about to ruffle some sincere feathers over. Some people, surprise, surprise again, Scorps, they're not going to know how to take you. They're not quite sure where you stand on things. But yet you stand very large, the head of something, the idea of something. Your presence is fierce. Your intention is loud. Your intensity is unmatched for something. But it's quiet, Scorpio. That's the interesting thing here that I see, is how quiet that intensity is. It's like coming out. You think about the wolf, he comes out of the cave, maybe scopes out the area around him. Hang on. Ma'am. Yeah, I see you. Hey. Busted. Yes, put it down. When the dog's in the other room, I put the cat toys away. She's got an entire toy box of dog toys. And I hear the crinkle of the cat thing. These little chickens that are about this big. And I whistle. And she just stops and goes, shit. Mama's caught me. Your whole neck, all her fluff. And now she put the chicken down, but she's got her chin down flat on the ground. I wish I could turn everything around to show you. But talk about the side eye, like, oh no, I got busted. Gotta love it. But anyhow, Scorpio, you're leading something and doing it with coming out of the cave, and your presence is profoundly known. But you're quiet, you're observing, and your aura says a lot while you don't, but that's like a bubble of protection. Spirit is telling me that as you continue to walk, you are divinely protected, divinely guided while you forge forward, because your perception about certain people and certain things are going to change. Hearing the term Uno, think about Uno. Uno is a card game. What do you say when you're down to one card? Uno. Down to one something or another? Are you I don't say minimizing, but eliminating? Thank you, Spirit. What are you eliminating to narrow down 1551? You're narrowing down some sort of, I'm going to call it karmic choice from Spirit. Excuse me. Some type of karmic choice. It's kind of like, don't know what how this resonates for you. The letter F could be of significance. It's almost like an hourglass has been sat down sideways. It's not going forward or backwards or dipping sand into one side or the other. It's just kind of stopped. What is that about, Spirit? I don't know, it's such a random whatever from Spirit. What is that about in January for Scorpio? Why the hourglass sideways, Spirit? What's that about? Rest, relaxation, seating, comfort, pause, and ponder. I said to you as I went to switch the normal decks that I use, I said, this could be spiritual. Underlying that is card of church. It says spiritual sanctuary, Scorpio, and sacred architecture. 17 on the clock, that's your number. Here we go again, Scorpio. Another year of 17. Spirit says it'll jump to 19 by March. I don't know why that's important, but we're going to put that out there. 19 is the sun in the tarot. Finally, you can see everything clearly. It's no longer just wishing, it's actual fulfillment. It has arrived. March is it's Aries season. Scorpio, it's Aries. It's a new zodiacal year in March. What you are you've already, Scorpio, holy moly, I'm getting a lot from this one card. You've already made some type of sacrifice. I think you're very, very used to making distinct sacrifices. It's like red. Like you think about red. Red sometimes is bloodshed. Sometimes red is passion, desire, burning desire, fire, anger, aggression. Red can signify a lot of things. Love. But it's what is sacred to you? What is sanctual? I don't even know that that's a word. And it's not quite what I'm trying to pull, or what Spirit's giving me to pull through. Your personal sanctity of something, Scorpio. You think about an architecture, it's building, right? Stained glass, there's usually something very special or specific or prominent. You think about like skyscrapers or courthouses, right? You think about, Spirit is saying government buildings. They tend to stand out with something symbolic to them, right? You could have a cross on your door. If something specific in your yard, a statue of something. Something that symbolizes the belief, Scorpio, of what you represent. You know, for the longest time, I had the cross necklace with the infinity symbol on it. I had the infinity loop, and then it had the cross that hung down. So many of you said over the years about what a beautiful necklace it was. It was a gift from my mother a few years ago. And I wore that for the longest time because the infinity symbol, right? Everything everything is infinite, right? It just continues to go, never stops. And then the cross, while I'm not religious, that is symbolic to me of sacrifice. Whether you believe in God or something else, Scorpio, that's totally up to you. But what stands in your life as symbology to you? It could be anything. You could make your own sigils, or maybe it is a cross, or Spirit is saying anointment. I don't know, maybe if you've been anointed with something specific. What does it mean to you? I can tell you, I don't know if you guys can see it as well as the other necklace, but it's an emerald, right? An emerald on my neck. That was a gift from my significant other for Christmas. But it's got the Celtic triqueta, or triqueta, I can never say it right, in it, Irish, right? And then there's the heart. I have a sick fetish with emeralds, and he indulged it, God bless him. But he liked that design for some reason. He was drawn to that. Which I found interesting. I had to look some things up because I was like, is that going to fit me? And it does. The symbology is changing. Who we are is changing. But it's also the eye, right? The eye. Something about the third eye perception, Scorpio, in the month of January. You may be getting a lot of downloads, but I think more than downloads, the interactions or the symbology, the numerology, letters, numbers, symbols, synchronicities, places, Spirit is saying special places, Scorpio, in January. It might just be one place that you go. That's it. You just happen to stumble on something by accident in January, perhaps. Or maybe you go to sit on a park bench. And sitting there, for whatever reason, you have some spiritual experience. It's meant to be that way. You don't have to go to church, right, to have a spiritual experience. I've had so many people in a year say to me, well, don't you go to church? There's smart ass me. Fuck no. Well, what do you do? Or do you take your kids to church? Pardon my turnaround on that, but no, I don't. Outside is our church. To sit by the tree is our church. I can sit in my bedroom and talk to God or Spirit. I sit at this table all the time and talk to him with you, or them with you. I don't need to be somewhere special, but there are places in this world, Scorpio, that we go that have sacred ground, sacred meaning, things that have happened that are unlike, call them holy places if you want to. They're unlike anything else you've ever seen. And here's a fun fact. Sometimes those places, Scorpio, can't be seen. They can only be felt. Let me rephrase. They can't be seen with the naked eye. And they can't be felt in a certain way with human touch. But they go beyond all logical human reasoning. They are undefinable. Sometimes the sacred places aren't in the physical 3D per se, but they lie within some connection to someone or something else. Just had 2, 3, 4, 5 on the clock. Odds are, got the chills, between the ages of 23 and 45, if you are before or after, it doesn't matter. Most of your spiritual pings in the most alarming or unusual ways probably happen in those age ranges. For some of you after 45, some things could have gotten a little, call it a midlife crisis, right? We need to reinvent ourselves or do something different, or buy the fancy sports car and be Bill Belichick and get yourself a 22-year-old girlfriend, or ladies, go hit on a stripper, Chippendale, whatever. I'm just totally fucking with you all. But it's to have those radical changes, right? It's like questioning life now. And not saying that those pings don't hit you, because I do think there's a next level to those pingings that happen. It's a more mature type of celebration in a sense. You think about the maiden, the mother, and the crone, right? There's like three levels to that maturity that sets in. But you have it in different ways. And the point that I was making, though, from Spirit is that there will be places, Scorpio, maybe this January is about some of the places that you go. Like Dr. Seuss, there is the book, Oh, the Places You Will Go. But then there will be, oh, the places that you go, but within. And that within, Scorpio, is, Spirit's being very clear about this. It's about what is within you, but then what is within another. For some of you, what is within another has either made you or broke you. And not that anybody is coming to save you, because they're not. But are you awake enough to understand the sweet harmony of what comes in to help finalize some old triggers and wounds? I hope that makes sense to you. There's something happening, Scorpio, and it's building. This architecture is building something within you that you didn't know that you had. You could, Spirit, you could have a conversation with somebody. It's almost like you're becoming a little more bold to say the things out loud that most people would think that if I said X, Y, Z, that so-and-so would think I was completely fucking nuts. When I tell you guys that I drive down the road talking to Spirit, and thank God Bluetooth is a real thing, I've said this a couple times before, because if I was back in 1980s and I was driving down and you didn't see me holding a long note of, you'd be like, that crazy lady is not singing. She's having a full-blown conversation. Everybody's response is, hopefully, she's not answering herself. And I'd be like, I sure am, because I'm talking to Spirit. They'd commit me. But this isn't even just a conversation with yourself or with God or with Spirit, Scorpio. You're actually having some type of confessional with somebody in your waking life, and you're like, I see, it's like the little boy in that movie, I forget the name of the movie now. He's like, I see dead people. What? I see dead people. Then you got Kendrick Lamar. I see dead people. Da 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 da. Right. You know Super Bowl better. But anyhow, we're coming up on that too. Do we know who's playing the Super Bowl? The only reason I watch is for the halftime show, the entertainment. But Scorpio, something you say, something you do can't be explained. You know something very specific, and you share that. And it's like people could try to discredit it or discount it and say, oh, Scorpio, yeah, well, you know, you had a 50-50 chance of getting that right, or, well, you know, it's like somebody just wants to kind of downplay something that you know. You don't just get it right on a you know, on a whip kind of thing, like, oh yeah, well, it's like if I had those kind of odds, I should probably play the Powerball every week, twice a week. And then I could really do great things, right? You don't have, I don't think that, I mean, I think we make our own luck. I don't know that lucky is necessarily a thing. You could feel lucky. But to have luck like that would take some unworldly amount of positive odds to be right about something. Scorps, there's something, some conversation that you're having at some point, I would say between the 28th and the 31st at the latest, I would say by the end of the month, where whatever this confessional is that you have, there's truth. There's a proven truth to it. And it's a reminder to somebody why you lead. I'm hearing generations. But why you are the leader in something specific. What you do, Spirit's very clear. There's no way in hell, Scorpio, even when you doubt yourself at your worst, that anybody can hold a candle to what you're capable of. You just don't realize it yet. You don't. And I think April, chills. There's my confirmation. Something about the month of April, it's going to show itself. It's going to confirm and validate something you say, something you know, or something that you're tapped into, even by way of maybe where you go, where is your sanctuary, who you connect to. This could be, I don't want to say religious groups, because I just, nothing against religion, but it doesn't sit right with me. What your belief system is, Scorpio. I don't know, maybe, we can say maybe one of my clients, you're the only one in the, even on YouTube in general, you're the only one in your family that believes in this. And let's just, use myself as the example here. I say something to you, you go back and you repeat it, and your family member's like, oh, there ain't no way, and blah, 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 you're full of shit. And then it happens, and you're like, told you, it's like, there's no way you would have known. I'm not saying it is coming from me, because that's not what I'm saying, but I'm just, passing it along as the example here. But it's something that some people just don't believe in. We are people, sometimes people don't believe in, and that's fine too. To each their own. I take it with a grain of salt, so should you. It's what else. There's something specific to that, Scorpio. The letters C and H, 3 times over. Think about, I feel like I'm helping my daughter do homework. What rhymes with church? But it's not even just church. Bench. Bench doesn't rhyme with church. Of all the places that you could go, Scorpio, Chernobyl. Fuck. Spirit. Oh my God. Anything with the ch sound. Ends in ch or starts with ch. I don't know what. It could be an object, Scorpio. It could be a place. It could be a name. Charles, Charlie, Chucky. That damn redheaded doll. Chucky. The bride. It was the bride of Chucky, and then Chucky, the little evil doll. Mr. Good Guy. Is that what it was? Mr. Good Guy. Was he a good guy, though? Looked good on the outside, not so much on the inside of that box, huh? Maybe that's something you need to pay attention to, Scorpio. Comes up for a reason, right? Cha. The cha sound. There's also the name of Ben coming through. You're going to want to be, Ben. Hold on, Scorpio. Why is that coming up? There's something about that, and I'm a little... Ben. I mean, literally, very, very specific message here. So I do want to clarify that, and then we'll move on. Why the name of Ben, and why is that important? It's very, very specific. I'm not going to sit here and tell you that every person by the name of Ben is, Spirit says, a fool. Scorpio, what the hell have I tapped into? Jesus. Be mindful of people that, I am going to say this, follow false prophets. There's going to be a handful of you out there, and this is, again, very specific, that you could be involved in something, some organization, community, or were a part of something at some point, and you've kind of watched some people fall off the deep end. It's kind of like falling into the dark side. It's almost like all you can do is sit back and watch in horror of stupidity. It's like, it's like telling, I could tell people, right, and I've said to people in the past doing this work, don't fuck with black magic. Don't do it. Don't put spells on people or attempt to put spells on people. Don't do things to people to control them. That comes back to bite you tenfold and then some. The only way you come out the good guy is to walk away with your integrity, your morals, and your ethics, and not to ever stoop to someone else's level. That's the only way you're going to have your shit intact when it's done. Scorps, you could be aware of someone else's pain and then realize that they have either fallen off the wagon or really taken a downturn, or they've involved themselves in something that was sacrifice. It's like, I remember being a kid and my grandmother, very old school, great grandmother being very old school, and before Y2K, it was like, if you do this and this and you take that computer chip, and then it's like the mark of the devil and you're going to hell, right? Like, straight to the point, right? Nothing like being 8, 9, 10 years old and going, you're going to hell, or being told you're going to hell, right? God, it was such a scary place to be. Talk about fear. But you learn. I learned a lot around that age, 8 to 10. Maybe that's important to you somehow here. But you're aware of something that is just not. Scorpio, you could get information in a couple of different ways, and you're like, wait a minute. This cannot be. It's like you want your hands off and out of something. Like, and it makes other things make diabolical sense. Like, I don't know what I've tapped into here, Scorps, but it's something. Star here, though, healing. The only way you'd be able to see this, though, if you're healing. It takes the eyes of something very pure to look at something that's not and see the difference between, good and bad, right or wrong. Evil, purity, peace, Six of Swords. Because you're healing, you're able to see these things, and sometimes when we're in that space, right, it's like being an addict to something, and you finally get clean, and it's like being the only sober one in the room. It's like, you being the DD one night, and everybody's just sloshed and stupid, and you're like, oh my God, I gotta drive these morons home, right? And you're like, God, there's such a bunch of idiots. Watch the way that they're acting. And then you're like, that was me last weekend. Maybe I need to put myself in check, right? Like, you realize, like, without having that different perspective, without you wearing the shoe on the other foot, you wouldn't know how bad it looked. You have to have clear sight, right? So there's something about that. Sometimes the victory, Scorpio, is in defeating the thoughts. It's weird that the Page of Cups in the Tower, with the Bench card. The Six of Wands in reverse, that's not successful, right? But the Eight of Swords is also removing success, removing the restriction to the Page of Cups. Some of you have been kind of fighting with yourselves on something as well here. I just want you to, if it's something where you're like, is it me or is it them? Scorpio, it could be you too, right? Like, we're not, we work hard, we're good at transformation, but we're not scot-free and clean either. I mean, we're fucking human as the next. I love us. I love the Scorpio collective, but you guys know if it's wrong, I'm going to call you out on it, and don't be afraid to look at yourself. Tower sits behind that Page of Cups, but I want to dig into the Six of Wands and the reverse spirit. What is that about for Scorpio? Why that? Cross, and that is the Queen of Swords and there's the Sun. This is about you don't have to be right, Scorpio. Ego. That's ego, right? Six of Wands can be your ego and your pride too, right? In the reverse, definitely the ego and the pride. You're not coming out ahead on that. Your ego is a false sense of identity. Scorpio, the Queen of Swords is kind of like, do I prove myself to be right or wrong? Triangles, mountains, are going to be important symbolism for you. You could be dealing with a Virgo, doesn't have to be. Why the hell is Virgo coming up in that? Oh, okay. Throat energy, Scorpio. As I clear my throat, the sun clarifying that specific Three of Swords. It's like hearing people say things that you know are just not, they're not adequate, they're not right, they don't even make sense. And trying to contain, put things in a container, right, Scorpio? Trying to contain someone else's stupidity, you can't. And I hate to call anybody else stupid, but again, it's the biggest momentum shift is when you don't meet them where they are on something. You've been there, you've done that, you've fought with your ego, and now you're just like, I'm good. It's not worth the battle. We're not doing this anymore. I don't want to adhere to this policy, is what I just heard. This Eight of Swords in reverse, Five of Cups, Ten of Swords. Pick your battles, Scorpio. Pick your battles with people. But it's like when we've seen people say or heard people say, like, I've lost all faith in humanity. Losing faith in somebody's ability to be a good person. Losing faith in the world around us that shit's gonna change. You don't have control over anything else, but when we go back to that wolf energy, you decide who's a part of your pack. Sometimes the hardest choice is to kick people out of your pack, isn't it? Don't want to. Some people are going to pull at your strings to keep you there. But the answer is no. It's like some people think that you'll just one day forget about certain things. Scorpios forgive, they don't forget. And Scorpio, maybe part of this too, the Queen of Swords, is you've blamed yourself for some lack of success in something, your own restrictions. You could find by the end of January there's something you kind of sabotaged yourself on. Scorpio, it might make you eat a little bit of something here, but it's a good lesson for you, whether you like it or not. I think you'll be fine, but it's also learning not to go against yourself in the future. It's learning to trust your intuition. That wolf trusts the scents or the smells that he has around him when he walks out of his cave. What about this church and the star, Spirit? The Queen of Cups, Scorpio, Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces. What the hell just fell? There's the Nine of Swords. Hold on. Here's the fun fact. I get myself bunched up. There we go. Knight of Wands. I get myself bunched up in this corner, and honestly, guys, my belly is getting enough puff to it that there does me zero good to try to contortionalize myself into some weird funky shape to get down to things since I've moved myself around in here. So if we can see it, great, and if we can't, so be it. Spirit and I've had this talk. Knight of Wands it is, though. Queen of Cups, Scorpio, you know, it's interesting. All three of those cards face the reverse. They face the past. The Star, though, she's very much in the moment, but so is the Queen of Cups. They're not looking back to the past. They're in the present moment. They're not looking forward or looking behind. The Knight of Wands, we ride at dawn and we go back to war. Nine of Swords says, why would we do that? That's anxiety of the past. Or of the future, I'm sorry. Anxiety, you know, and as I say that to you too, I remember saying not long ago, Scorps, and I think it was probably you. I said, you know, to live in worry is to live in the past. To live in anxiety is the anticipation of the future. And when we look at this Nine of Swords, for me anyhow, as it sat in front of me, that face is looking down, but yet the forward position in a sense. But it's like, what did I do? What have I done? Is that Scorpio, though? There's the 9 of Swords to the 10 of Swords, which is 19, Scorpio. It's still clarity. It's still clarity. What is this 9 of Swords about for Scorpio in January? The King of Swords, sideways. Interesting. The only 2 cards that have come out in this deck, sideways, have been the King and the Queen of Swords. Why, Spirit? Because, Scorpio, that's not you. Scorpio, you've turned your back to something. This is someone who thought they could thwart you, and I think along the way you've made mistakes too. You've made mistakes. You've made plenty of them. You don't get here because you got it right. You had to mess up, and you had to mess up big time. It's like watching somebody, some big tyrant on a hill in his castle, and then all of a sudden one day the castle, there could be a avalanche, earthquake maybe, in a bigger country where there is dictatorship also, or some political figure. Their house or space could be brought or reduced to rubble also by April. But it's watching this person's world get rocked. Scorpio, you found humility in being wrong about something in the past. You learned to drop your ego. You know, you're like, I could live in my ego and keep myself restricted, or I can just, 5 of Cups, cut my losses and go, I still have other things to be grateful for, other things to be thankful for. And I'm going to have to make the most out of what it is that I do have versus what I don't have. It's, you know, crying over spilled milk. And with the 5 of Cups, you know, they've got, it's funny, got the 5 of Cups here, and those 3 cups are down and the 2 are up. And then you've got this one over here where this person, Scorpio, what are the fucking odds of this? Look at this. Completely different deck, right? There it is. You see it? This is the back side of the 5 of Cups, not the same deck. Ready? 3 of Cups. 2 of Cups. It's like magic. What does that make? The 5 of Cups. Somebody wanted to have victory. When you think about the 3 and the 2, that's an advantage. It's like the odds, right? It's like betting on UFC. What are the odds? That's who I'm going to pick. And I think, Scorpio, last week I said, if you're going to bet on somebody, bet on you. Or was that this weekend or something like that? Scorpio, somebody played big and they lost even bigger. And it could be you. But I don't think that it was. The 3 cups, it's like, it feels like a disappointment in the sense of the lessons that you learned about something. It could potentially be 3 people in your life in the past. Last 5 years, maybe. 555 here. But it's brought you, the 2 cups brought you to something that you kind of get to sneak away with into the sunset, the world, the wheel. And you get to contemplate what you do with that next. 10 of Swords, twice. You're not dealing with it, and what comes with it is the Judgment and the Star. You heal due to the choices that you make. I'm going to be a little blunt here. Every single thing that we do, guys, everything, there is an equal and opposite reaction for it. There is a consequence to the decisions in which we make. And if you think for a holy second that there isn't, you're wrong. I could easily swing into politics on this, and something that I thought about this evening that really irked the fuck out of me, to be honest. because it's a very typical bait and switch kind of tactic. One person does one thing, and when the other person has to go clean up the fucking shit show, then we blame the person cleaning up the shit show. Scorpio, this might be a part of it. You had to learn the consequence to actions from other people. You had to learn how to play the game in certain things. And that's what's made you a wise leader. That's what puts you a part of this pack or this tribe that you now have. Notice the smile on my face? There's an enlightened feeling that comes with that. You could have thought you had great quantity of friends in your corner. Hell, it could have been YouTube subscribers for all you know, right? Like, whatever you do. I'm just going to throw, no shade to you guys at all. You've been wonderful. But think about it, right? It could be anything in the world. It could have been the people that bought your cupcakes. It could have been the people that watched your kids. It could have been anything. But you realized those groups or those tribes that you were a part of, there's something that's kind of falling apart, Scorpio, for you to see in real time in January, that cements the fact that they were not for you, because you didn't have to. It's not your job to play second seat, second fiddle, third party, maybe for some of you. Your role wasn't a supporting role. That's not your job. Your job is to be the lead role. You're not the wolf that goes out and keeps alert all night. You're not the worker bee for the queen. You are the queen. You are the dominant one of the pack. When you get to that place, Scorpio, it's not because it's just passed along so long as you've been humble. It's because you've earned your spot. You've earned your rightful place in the kingdom, if you will, if we want to touch into the Lion King. It's not given, it's earned. Scorpio, you've earned your spots. You've earned your stripes. You've earned your accolades. Stop this Queen of Swords to that Five of Cups. Stop beating yourself up for what other people have done, for the lessons that you now know. You know, how many of us could say, if I could go back and do this over, or if I knew now what I knew, or what if I tongue twister tonight, I'm tired. If I knew then, what I know now, I would have made different choices. I could tell you myself, again, I will happily use myself as an example because I'm as human as the next person. And this time around in pregnancy, thinking about all the different choices and the research of, bottles and boob feeding and all the things that I would look forward to with my daughter, with the information that I had 11, 12 years ago, I wish I would have done some things different, maybe. I don't have regrets. I mean, I did the best I knew with what I had at the time. You only ever have what you have in front of you, Scorpio. Time and wisdom makes all the difference, and that's where you are right now. You've earned whatever this is you're stepping into, and I think along the way you've doubted yourself. You've given up on yourself, you've questioned yourself, you've wondered if you were really, if you as a human itself were viably worth it. Crazy statement, but were you worth it? Yeah, you are. You absolutely are. I'm going to pull one of these cards for you guys, and I'm going to leave it there because this is really long, but Scorpio, it's you. It's you. Interesting January, Scorps. Couple cards, let me see here. Number 30 and number 39 kind of came out sideways. Diving for light, number 11. It is the 11th. You're going deeper, Scorpio. The seahorse, they mate for life. By the way, the perfection of your life, Scorpio. You're integrating. This is how do I explain this, Scorpio? It's like a movie scene. The cool things they make happen, right? I talked about the splotchiness of the screen here. It's like that, but it's watching like the flower of life, like everything kind of coming together, kaleidoscoping kind of how it all comes together. And we talk about that 30 breaks down to a 3, 5, 5, 5, 5 on the clock, Scorpio. 30 and 2, it's a 5 also. Scorpio, whatever you've been having a hard time with, it's getting ready to end. I do feel like there's been some pressure, some challenges. It's, and look at this, swear to the stars. Number 39 wasn't even thinking. Free from judgment, free to love. Scorpio, what's 39 break down to? A 12. What's 12 break down to? A 3. You've got 33. I talked about those 3s. There they are again. And then you've got the 3 of Cups. Spirit, I'm done. There it is. 10, 10, 2, Scorpio. 10 of Swords, 10 of Swords. You... In spiritualism, I'm going to be... Here's a fun fact. I'm going to get real fucking personal. If you've made it to 56 minutes, congratulations to you. Let me know you're still here. I'd love to know that. But I'm going to tell you a fun personal fact. Not really fun, but it's a true story. One time I had to have a psychological evaluation done. Court stuff, right? Not because I did anything wrong, by the way. This was just kind of par for the course. I'm like, let's do this, please. They told me that I was too optimistic. Can you imagine, in the world that we live in, as shitty as it can be, that I was too optimistic of a person? Do what? Is that even possible? Because let's get real, I can find a million things a day to bitch about. Truthfully. Scorpio. When we're spiritual, we don't seek out what you would necessarily call optimism. There's a difference between optimism and faith. There's a difference between fantasy and reality. There's a difference between what has never been proven to be true and what has been proven to work. Just because somebody hasn't tried it doesn't mean it doesn't work. For me, I've manifested a lot of things in my life. And for some people, they could tell you all kinds of shit, right? Like, I'll say this, right? My mother, God love her. We have a unique relationship, we'll say. But she's a high stress, high strung, makes me crazy. And I've said to her for so many times over the years, go meditate. Just go meditate. And her response to me, and Mom, if you're watching, which I'm sure you're not watching this video because you're a Sagittarius, she would say, I can't settle my mind down enough to meditate. See this face? My, of course, response is, you don't settle your mind down so you can meditate. That's the point of fucking meditating, so you can settle your mind. It's like putting the cart before the horse. Duh. Makes me crazy. Like, what would be the point then, Mom? Right? It's not that we're optimistic. It's we've seen it. We know what works. We know what doesn't work because you've been there. When you're able to eliminate common sense things, right? And then you tap into the intuition to navigate the rest of the stuff, you can't go wrong. Scorpio, you were learning the life lessons first. It hurts to sneeze. You were are learning the life lessons first. And that's where you learn not to judge yourself. Free from judgment, free to love. And in return, your heart is opening up to things within yourself. You're not judging yourself anymore like you used to either. This could be body image issues. This could be your sexuality. This could be the way that you cook. You're afraid to make a mistake. Parenting. Going off to do some hobby or project, gardening, maybe never trying something because you're afraid you're going to fail. But something about this, it doesn't have to be perfect. I'm not perfect. I am perfectly flawed, and that's okay. And Scorps, with that Two of Cups, there's something in that says, I too am flawed. A confessional, right? I too am flawed, and here we've come to build this sanctuary. We've come to build this place. We've come to build peace in our own community, in our own sanctuary, in our own space. We didn't come here to 010101 on the timer. We didn't come here to perfect it. We just came here to love. Scorpio, I don't know what it is with this read, but it's very something very specific. It's you're leading, you're taking charge, you're leading the way. Spirit, I know there's a seahorse in this, and I'm gonna read that, and then I'm gonna let y'all go. I thought about it a second, and I was like, and Spirit brought me back to it, so we're gonna end it on that. Oh, I know it's a long reading, Scorpio, but I've honestly missed having the energy to even do a long one, regardless. So happy to do it for you, and hopefully you take something from it that serves you well, okay? What the hell, starfish? Octopus fever. Bear with me, I'm sorry. I think they're considered water, right? Pretty sure. Maybe I'm losing my mind. That's possible too. Dolphin, whale. No? Okay. Do you all remember me reading a seahorse for you before, I thought? Man, buffalo, snake. Maybe it isn't in here. Water. Starfish. Remember the starfish? I've read that for you. I don't know. Maybe you'll need to go look up the spiritual purpose of a starfish. Or not a starfish, oh my god. A seahorse. But I also want to tell you, the first thing I said to you earlier about seahorses is when they meet with... First off, males are the bearers of children in the seahorse species. Secondly, once a seahorse mates, they mate for life. It's for good. When they finally settle into it, they mate for life. Maybe I don't. I thought it was in this book. Maybe it's not. I stand corrected. I don't know where I don't know. But anyhow, something I have has seahorses. But do go check that out. Go look that up. But seahorses are extremely, I believe, resourceful individuals too, and they can stay put for a long time. Talk about patience and perseverance. They're full of patience. So maybe patience, exercising patience. And they blend in. They blend in with their surroundings, Scorpio. And what comes after that, I talked about that owl twice. Be the hunter, not the hunted. And after the storm. There's an owl. There's an owl. I'm leaving it there. I hope this was helpful. Scorpio, happy January to you. Sending you all so much love. Personal reads are open and available. I'd love to hear from you again. Things have changed for 2026. It's going to help you and me out in simultaneously, so I hope you understand. I look forward to hearing from you, though, regardless. I'm sending you all so much love. I will see you for your weekly read tomorrow. Take care. Have a wonderful evening. Good night.